Holy shit. Look at this fucking setup, man. This is nice. I'm fucking with it. I'm at my daddy's house. And say to go away. Thank you. We're gonna record a podcast. I really don't have an idea of what I'm gonna talk about. I'm just fucking setting up camera. I got plenty to talk about. I just don't have a topic. Cause a lot's been going on lately. And we could talk about some of it. Some of it I'm gonna leave out for now just because I'm not sure how much I can go into depth with something like that. But I don't think it's a problem telling anybody. And I don't want to hide anything. So I'm gonna be as open and honest as possible with the information and with what I think I'm allowed to share. So I guess what we'll say is it's fucking Friday, 11:40 in the afternoon. I'm at my daddy's house because I just got out the gym. I guess we'll just dive right into it. I got fired. That's why I'm sitting here, not at work. Because I've been having problems with that company since I started, really. Smithfield is very, how do I put it? Very strict in the way they want things done. And the way they want things done is not, it doesn't agree with the way my brain works. Because they really don't give a fuck about a lot of things that they should. And then they claim to give a fuck about it when shit's going down, like safety or things like that. And they say a lot of shit in the orientation that's not fucking true. Like, they tell you there's a bathroom everywhere. That's not true in every department because they don't want you leaving your department because you have to take off all the protective equipment and all that shit that you're supposed to wear there. So they don't want you to have to take all that off, then fucking walk a super long distance, go to the bathroom. And so, yeah, they tell you that there's a bathroom every area. They tell you that there's open communication. They tell you all this shit, man, and none of it's true. Like, there's not a bathroom every area. I didn't have a bathroom in my area. That's one of the fucking things that I really just didn't get along with them with. Plus, all their safety shit. Yes, I understand safety's important. I've talked about this before, so we're not gonna go on a long rant about it, but safety's important, but the way they do things is not for safety of the employee. It's for safety of the company. So they don't get banned, or not banned necessarily, but shut down, or they don't get in trouble by the USDA or OSHA or any of that. That's what their main concern is. Their main concern is basically just money. And my main example of that is basically every machine in that fucking place is broken or not working right, or has pieces replaced that shouldn't be there. Because rather than fixing things properly the first time, like, oh, the machine has a broken this, so I'm going to order this part and put it in there, and the machine will be fixed again. They want to jury rig shit together so that they don't have to spend the money on the parts. And then they wonder why the machines keep breaking down, or why more things break on the machine. It's because, and this isn't just the machine I worked on. I had that problem almost every day, but I've heard problems in other departments, the same issues. That machines break down and they don't properly fix them. Shit like that. So it's really not just my area. That's how I know. Because I talked to everybody when I was there. I talked to as many people as I possibly could. Because I'm always gaining experience, knowledge, information on how I want to live and how people have lived so that I can be better. Not necessarily better than them, because I don't think anybody's better than one person, but to just live my life in a better and happier manner than they had the chance to. Because you're only, when you're put into this world, you're only given a certain amount of information, and you have to use that information to live your life as best as possible. And yeah, we gather information throughout life to live our life in a better manner, but sometimes we don't learn about what we need to be doing until it's the end. And that's why I like talking to older people, because they have a wash of knowledge that you don't have access to normally at this age, at 20 years old. I'm 20 years old and I don't have that kind of knowledge that older folks have, so I want to talk to them and gain the knowledge and experience through their eyes and their mind. That's why I don't like basic conversation. Chance calls it level 2 conversation. You're just talking about basic shit like, oh, I worked yesterday, and then I went to the grocery store, and then I did this. You're just talking about basic shit nobody really gives a fuck about that really doesn't have any depth or meaning. I mean, yeah, it's important to you, but it really doesn't have any deep meaning to what the fuck we're talking about here. That's why I like getting on here and talking about space and talking about the universe, talking about substances, talking about all kinds of shit, because I want to get into the deeper meaning and deeper values of what life is supposed to be, not just the baseline bullshit. I go to work, and then I go home, and then I clean, and then I eat, and then I shit, and then I go to bed, and then I do it again tomorrow. That's not what I fucking want, dude. That is so boring to me. And yeah, that's like small talk. That's basically what I'm saying is most people don't get below the small talk. Like it takes a long time, especially in a work environment, to get below the small talk because you're supposed to be working there. So you have to do your job while simultaneously trying to have a conversation and do all this at the same time. And it's not always possible to do that because sometimes there's just so much work you got to get done that you can't have that conversation. And so it's really complicated to transverse these conversations and have actual meaningful ones with people. That's why I like podcasts, I think, too, is because a lot of the ones I listen to, they're meaningful, in-depth conversations with normal people. Normal fucking people. It's not like the news where people are like, at 9 o'clock, we got the news, and we got the weather, and this and that, and then we're going to talk with Steve about the sports. And they have these fucking stupid-ass ways of talking, and they don't fucking get below the baseline conversation, and then they wonder why political debates and all this shit never go well. It's because you're having fucking 5-minute conversations trying to yell at each other rather than sitting down like you and I are right now. Like, yeah, I'm the only one talking. I mean, if you comment, do all that shit, I'm going to read it and I'll talk about it if I remember it at that time. But as of right now, I'm just talking to myself basically. And it's a one-sided conversation. But, that's kind of what news is, really. People are just trying to get their clip in and talk over each other and talk about themselves. And nobody really gives a fuck. Like, who gives a fuck what, I don't even know. I don't watch the news anymore, bro. If I'm being 100% honest, the reason I stopped watching the news is because I used to watch the news. I used to read articles on Google, like about history, science, all that shit. I just scroll through the Google pages and read articles. And that was my, like, way of passing time and having fun, really, when I was a kid. Was watching YouTube videos and teaching myself and doing that on Google. And then during the pandemic, I had read an article about Joe Rogan and him taking his horse dewormer. And I'm pretty sure I've told this story before, but I had gone to my dad about it. My dad's a super intelligent guy, man, and we're going to get into that in a second. Not just what my dad's like, but like what's been on my mind lately, really. And I think it can help everybody. That's the only reason I'm talking about it. I know that my one life is not significant enough to have talked about it. That's why I try not to talk about myself. I try to just talk about experiences that I've had. And yeah, I'm going to be in it because it's my experience, but I'm trying to share the experience so that it helps everybody. And, what the fuck was I just talking about? Obviously, it wasn't important enough to fucking bring back, but I'm going to be looking for a new job. I've already applied to like 25 places. I'm trying to get shit in order because I've got other shit I've got to worry about too. I'm in a high amount of stress right now. And I'm just trying to take it one day at a time, really, because, like, life's trying to beat me down, and I'm not trying to let it beat me down. I'm trying to stay fucking like this, bro, because the podcast is doing well. I got 44 subscribers. I say I. We have 44 subscribers. Me, Chance, whoever else has been on it. This is everybody's podcast, man. My name may be on it, and I may own the account, but this is everybody's podcast. It's not mine. I don't own it. Like, I just own the channel because I made it. Anybody can make a channel. Anybody can upload these videos. I mean, they're not copyrighted, I don't think. I don't know how that works, but if you just re-upload my shit, they're going to come to me anyway, so there's no point. That's why I talk about you should do what you want to do. in your own way. If you want to be a podcaster, like I want to be a podcaster, go fucking do it, dude. Start. Just set up a camera like I just did. You set up a phone somewhere, make sure it's a good fucking angle, good lighting, make sure they can hear you, and then you just start fucking talking. And that's it. Yeah, you're going to be fucking terrible. I'm still terrible, but you're going to improve over time. And I'm glad to see this podcast growing. I ain't going to lie. It's a very slow growth. I've been doing it for a year. It's very slow, very meticulous on how things go on it. Yeah, well, sometimes I get 1 view, sometimes I get fucking 100. I mean, it's not going to be, but that's how it is with any YouTuber, really. Like, PewDiePie doesn't get fucking 5 million views on every video. Sometimes it's 1 million, sometimes it's 100,000, sometimes videos don't do well. And then you use that experience to do better next time. The reason I'm saying all this is because I love you guys, man. Whoever the fuck is sticking through this shit, whoever is fucking here for the clunky parts, I might readjust this camera, I won't lie. Just angle it down a little bit. So whoever's been with me, whoever watches this shit, whoever fucking loves to have Chance on, because videos do really well when Chance is on. When I'm just sitting here fucking babbling, they do all right. Some of them do all right, but when Chance is on, you guys love the fuck out of Chance, and I can understand why. Chance is an awesome motherfucker. He's my best fucking friend. Like, literally, I've never met anybody like Chance, and he's my family, bro. I love my family, and he's part of it. That's, like, all I could say about that. But the reason I'm saying all this is because I want you guys to be a part of this experience as well. I'm not even doing this for myself at this point anymore. God knows that. I don't give a fuck what fucking happens to me at this point. Yeah, I want to do well. Yeah, I'm going to keep grinding and try to be successful and try to live my life as best I can. But at the end of the day, life's unpredictable. It's going to throw shit at you that you couldn't even fucking see coming. I have an example that I was going to talk about, and we might as well just jump right into that. My best example for that is shit that's been happening to me this week, man. I just moved in with Chance. I was on the verge of fucking saving money, fucking doing well with substances, not abusing them anymore, fucking just doing well, man. I'm still doing that. I'm still fucking trying and working on all that. It's just getting a little harder because, like I said, I lost my job. So my form of income that I needed is gone for right now. So I'm trying to get another position, get more skills, get more knowledge, get more experience. That's all I'm ever worried about is getting knowledge, skills, and experience. But on top of that, I was driving to work on Tuesday. Monday I called in. Tuesday, this is contributing to why I got fired, actually. So we'll touch on that a little bit more, and then we'll get into that. So Monday, Tuesday, I had to call in, and I was already at 6.5 points, right? And then the reason I got fired is because I clocked out at 2:30 yesterday, and my entire time of working there, my schedule in their app, their fucking company app, official app, says 5 a.m. to 1:30, right? And that's the time that you could clock out without getting any points or any repercussions, was 1:30, right? If I wanted to clock out at 1:30 at a point, and even if the supervisor didn't say I could clock out at 1:30 and he could have no fucking say or no say and no influence in that decision. I could just leave. I mean, that's how the company was set up. So they had us working 9 hours a day, and I agreed to work 9 hours a day. What they didn't tell us was that, and I had to learn through experience of being on the job, is that they expect us to wait for second shift to get on the floor at 2:35, 2:40, 2:45 sometimes. Sometimes they took a while. But by that time, we were already approaching 9.5, 10 hours. So I would leave at 2:30 because my 9-hour mark was 2:26 because I clocked in at 4:56 every morning. So technically my time was 2:26. That's when I could clock out at 9 hours. I did that once or twice, yes, and didn't get any repercussions for it because, like I said, it was 1:30 in the schedule. And so I stopped doing that because a guy who had been there a long time had told me they'll try to get me for clocking out at 2:26. Anytime before 2:30, they'll try to get me. So I'm like, bet, I'll just clock out at 2:30. And so yesterday I clock out at 2:30, thinking I'm good, because I've been clocking out at 2:30 since I fucking started. What would be changing, right? And I was gone Monday, Tuesday, right? So Wednesday, nobody told me. Thursday comes around, and I'm just sitting there like, all right. And so I get a call yesterday when I'm doing pull-ups at the crib. I did about 10 pull-ups. It wasn't much. And then HR, so I'm thinking it's a lawyer. So I'm trying to get a lawyer. I'm trying to contact lawyers at the moment. And that's why I said I don't know how much I could talk about or should talk about. But, we'll get into that in a second, what I can talk about. I don't know how much I can. But, I've been trying to contact lawyers, so I think it's a lawyer calling. And I answer immediately. And the lady's like, "There's a delivery up from HR Smithfield, and it says you clocked out early today, and we're calling to get your statement." That shit is annoying, first of all, because they do that shit with everything. Even if they just talk to you, you got to write a statement. If you fucking are late back from break, you got to write a statement. And they don't give a fuck about your statement. They just want the documentation saying that they talked to you. That way, if you ever say, "Oh, no, that didn't happen," or some shit, or try to use it against them in court of law, then they have the documentation to prove otherwise. And that's what they do. They're just trying to watch their own ass. And besides the point, she fucking told me that I clocked out early. I told her, I guess there was a misunderstanding. I wasn't aware that it changed in the schedule, and that was my fault, and I took responsibility for I was wrong. And she's like, "As of right now, we're expecting you not to show up to work tomorrow, and we're going to be sending you a letter." So that obviously means I'm fucking fired. But let's jump back into why I was gone Tuesday. Monday, I was throwing the fuck up, shit in my pants. Not literally, but I had diarrhea, and maybe this is too much information, but I'm being honest. I told you I was going to be honest with this. I told you I was going to be fucking honest. Did I tell you I was going to be honest or lie? I told you I was going to fucking be honest. All right. I got a lot of energy right now. But, so I was shitting, throwing up, as people do. So I didn't go to work on Monday. I had 5.5 points on after calling in Monday. Tuesday rolls around. I'm almost to work, literally about a mile and a half, 2 at most. And yeah, maybe 3. Maybe it's 3 miles, but that's besides the point. I was on the road right up the turnoff to work. I had about 2-3 miles to go, and I passed this car going, I thought I was, this is dead honesty, man. I thought I was going 60, 61 miles per hour. That's what I looked at when I looked down at my speedometer. It very well could have been 64. Like, I'm not even going to try to fucking front or say that it wasn't or argue with anybody about how it couldn't have been 64. If I saw somebody whip shitty on me and I pass somebody and I'm not sure who it is and I'm speeding, of course I'm going to let off the gas. So maybe when I looked at it, it was 61. Maybe it was 64 when I passed the guy. So I look at my rear view, as I do, because I've had a lot of encounters with police and law enforcement, and they're not bad people. Obviously, there's good people and there's bad people like any other job. And I respect law enforcement. That is a hard-ass job. So I look at my rear view, and I see a car whipping around on me. And I'm like, shit, what? And I knew I was fucked. There was nobody else on the road. It was me. So I whipped into the fucking right side of the road. And I fucking started grabbing out my driver's license, registration, insurance. Gave it to the guy. He said my insurance and my registration were good. And took my license back to the squad car. Came back. Said everything was all good. And then he's like, let me ask you a question. When's the last time you smoked marijuana? And I'm like, fuck, man. It was last night. And that was honest. I didn't smoke that morning. And so got to the point where he was saying he smelled it. And I told him no at first, that I had some in the vehicle, because I was worried, man. I was scared. I didn't know what to do. And if you get into that situation, you'll understand. I was scared. I'm like, fuck no, I don't have shit. And then he's like, get the fuck out of the car. Well, he didn't say it like that. He's like, I'm going to have to ask you to step out of the vehicle, sir. And I'm like, yep, I know where this is going. And then I'm like, yes, there's weed in the car. I'm sorry, I was scared. And then he puts me in cuffs. I get put in the back of a fucking squad car. And I go spend 8 hours in jail. And they strip me down, butt ass naked, take all my jewelry, my watch. And I just become a name, Kiss, and a number. And I get locked in a room after fingerprints and mugshots. And I sit there for 8 hours thinking, doing nothing but thinking. That's why I wanted to do a podcast. I was kind of scared to do it. I don't know why, because I don't know what I can talk about in that case. That's why I'm not going to talk about the case itself. I want to talk about the revelations and experience I had in the cell. Because I don't think most people realize what jail is like. Like, I wasn't even in an actual cell. I was in a holding cell. They put you in a holding cell until you see a judge, and then you figure out what's going on after that. Luckily, the judge was courteous, and he was cool enough to let me out. And he didn't have to do that, and I am appreciative, and I respect that judge for letting me out. Because 8 hours was fucking plenty, dude. But, so, in that cell, man, all you have, they close the door once you're in there. They close the windows. They close the food slot. The door is basically another wall. You can't see out of it. You can't open it. There's no handle. So it just becomes part of the wall until they open it again. Really. It's like trying to open this wall right next to it. You can't. There's no even trying. And I didn't try. I just realized that. That was one of my first realizations. A few other realizations I had in there was I'm going to be 100% honest. I have problems pissing in front of other people. Like, I'd rather wait for other people to leave the bathroom for me to piss. I don't know what it is. I just don't like people listening or watching or hearing me piss. You know what I'm saying? It's weird to me. Even with parole officers, I've never been on parole, but probation officers, any of that, I can't piss in front of these guys. Like, I'm straight up with them too. Like, dude, I got nothing on me. You can check me, check anywhere you want. I don't have shit on me, but I'm not pissing in front of you. There's no fucking way. I could try, and I do try, but nothing ever comes out. And then it takes me a second to remap my brain to be able to piss. I don't know what that is. But, and there's been some times where I don't have that problem. Even when somebody's waiting on me outside the door, if I know somebody's waiting on me, then it's hard for me to piss. It's probably just the anxiety of being in the bathroom, right? Because somebody might have to go in there. Somebody might say something to you. Anything can happen, right? It's just that anticipation probably. But, so the toilet's just in a small room connected to that room. There's a little shower, shitty curtain, shitty sink, and that's all you get. They give you a water cup and a blanket, give you some shitty slides and a shitty jumpsuit, and you go sit there, and all you have is your mind. There was a TV in the cell, there was a Bible in the cell, there was cards in the cell, and I could drink water, and that's about it. That's all you have in there is a blanket, a bed, a TV if you're lucky, if somebody gives you the remote, which I was, thankfully. Because I get in there about 5 o'clock because I was going to work. And the two guys that were in there were sleeping. And I was trying to be courteous, even though it's a fucking jail. I didn't want to ask to be in there, but I'm in there because of my actions. So I have to accept it and try to be courteous of the other people within the cell. I was in there with two other guys. And at first, I lay in bed. I'm just sitting there trying to fucking sleep because I'm like, these guys got it figured out. That's the thing. It looks like they got it figured out, but what it really is these guys are content with where they're at. So they don't care. So they're just going back to bed. They don't give a fuck. They could spend their whole life in there and they wouldn't give a fuck. That's the problem with that. But I was thinking, I wish I could sleep until the judge called me out, right? But then you have that other piece of you where you're worried that you're going to sleep through going to see the judge. And I don't know if they wake you up or what, but I don't want that shit to happen. And so get in there, sit on the bed. I start tweaking a little bit, realize that I'm tweaking and I need to figure out what to do for the time being, because they told me the judge would come about 10. I heard 10, 11, 12, 1. I heard all 4 of those times that a judge could come and see us. So I'm just like, all right, I got fucking between, it was 5 o'clock, so I got between 5 to 9 hours of this shit. So let's fucking figure out what we're going to do in here until the time comes to where I see the judge. And in that cell, bro, all you have time to do is think and pass time. And what I was thinking about in there, I guess I'll talk about what I was doing first. It was kind of a traumatizing experience. That's why I wanted to talk about it. Because you don't realize what jail's like until you're there, bro. And I don't understand how people want to go back or think they're tough for being in there. Because it's not tough at all. It's fucking like an animal cage. They lock you away. It's like putting your dog in the kennel, bro. That's exactly what it is. You give them shitty food, just enough water to survive, and lock them in the cage and you leave. That's exactly what happens. They treat you like a human animal. And so what I did first was sat down and I started to try to meditate, but my mind was going too crazy to do that. So I went and sat at the table that they had in there, shitty lawn chairs. Sat there. I fucking so fucking just wiry in there because all you have is your brain. And no amount of meditation, no amount of spiritual practice, physical practice, mental practice can prepare you for that kind of situation. So I started reading the Bible. That's all they had in there was a fucking Bible. So I started flipping through Genesis. It was pretty cool because I was starting to connect shit I'd heard before to like the stories together, right? I only got through the book. I didn't even get through the book of Genesis, I don't think. But I spent like 2-3 hours reading it because I was just passing time and that's all I had to do. And as I was reading, I kept moving, and fucking putting my legs out, bringing them back in, just trying to stay comfortable, as comfortable as possible in that situation. And so I was moving around a lot. Obviously, I got a lot of energy. I like to move. I like to talk. I like to do shit, right? So I was reading this book, just like wiggling, how you do. And the chair was making noise because it was just a shitty lawn plastic chair scraping against the concrete floor. You know the sound. And I kept accidentally waking dude up, one of the dudes. And we're going to get to that in a second because that's wild in itself. But I kept moving the chair and it kept being loud. So I hear something being thrown behind me on the floor. And I look behind me and I see the TV remote. And he's like, "You want to watch TV? Here's the remote." And then I'm like, fucking thank God. Because I didn't know if the TV worked or not or if I could even turn it on. I don't know what the rules are, dude. It's my first time. I was like a legit retard. Especially when I was being caught. Like I just hands up here. I didn't know what to do. Because he was like, wanted to search me. My brain was working faster than his in that situation. Like, I just wanted to get to where I was good. And in his mind, he was going through the process of the things he needed to do and trying to explain it to me in a way that I would understand, as an officer would, right? And so I didn't know what to do, so my brain was a little wiry. I'm like, do I put my hands here? Where do you want my hands? All this shit. And then I didn't know any of the rules. When I was being processed through, before I got in the cell, I didn't know what I was supposed to do, what I was supposed to take off. Turns out it's everything except for your glasses, but I didn't know that. Then they get your fingerprints, mugshot, figure out where you live, all that shit. And it's hard to figure out what the fuck you're supposed to be doing in there until they tell you, or unless you've been there before, which I don't want to go back. That was a shitty situation. I never want to be it again, but I learned a lot from it already, and I'm going to learn more from it because I haven't even gone through the court shit yet. But so I'm sitting there. I get the TV remote. I try turning the TV on. The button on the remote's not working. So I go walk up to the TV, start pressing the button on the TV. It's not fucking working. So I'm like, fuck this, man. I'm not gonna fucking walk around, be loud and shit, be inconsiderate. I'm gonna fucking just sit down and keep reading. So that's what I did. I read a few more pages, and after that, out of nowhere, the TV turned on. I don't know how. I didn't push any buttons. Then it was loud as fuck, and it was blaring. And the dude who was sleeping gave me the remote. Was like, "Can you turn that down, please?" He said it in a stern voice. I don't think he was trying to be a dick. I think he just had his own shit going on, and he was tired and sleeping. So get woken up like that, especially in a jail cell, you don't want to fucking be there. So you're probably a little ornery, a little stern, a little fucky. But I don't think he was meaning to be a dick. I was just scared being in there, man. I ain't even gonna lie. But so I turned it to Catfish. That shit was passing the time. Watched Catfish until I got out, really. But my main point of talking about all this was what I was thinking about in there, man. When you're in there, you start to think about all this shit that really matters. If you're in a good spot mentally and you know what the fuck you want in life, every bullshit thing that you thought was important just falls away. And you start to realize, fuck, all I really have are the connections I have on the outside. Family, friends, work, all those connections that you've been building. That is really your freedom, because they take all of it away and lock you in one room. And that's all you have is that one room. And then you realize really what's important is your family. Like, bro, if I'm being 100% honest, I've had separation anxiety from my dad lately, just because I couldn't talk to my dad. I couldn't see my dad. I couldn't call my dad for 8 hours. And that's never happened to me before, where I haven't been able to call my dad when I'm in trouble. Like every single time I've been in trouble, I call my dad, because I know he's not going to get me out of the situation, but he's going to give me good advice and tell me what I did right, what I did wrong, and help me through the situation. That's why I called my dad. Because that man is super intelligent, super caring, loving. He's always been there for me. Even if he doesn't know exactly what to do, he's there to comfort me and help me through the situation as best he can. And that's what I respect and love about that man. He'd give me fucking the clothes off his back if he needed to. If that's what I needed to fucking get to where I was in a better position, he would fucking rip his clothes off in a heartbeat. And that's not on some gay shit. Pause. But my dad loves me, man. He loves all my siblings. He loves so much, man. He is such a good fucking person. And that's what I've realized when I was sitting in that cell. Like, I obviously knew it, but there's a difference between knowing things and feeling things. And when you start to feel things, that's when shit really starts to impact your life. Because, god damn it, man. Pause. I'm not gonna answer this call. Hold up. Came outside for a little smoke break, god damn it. But I'm glad I took that call, because that was an interview for Winnebago, and I'm gonna be getting a welding position back. That's fucking awesome, dude. That is so cool. I've been wanting to be a welder again for so long. But what I was talking about is, we know all this stuff, and it's different when you feel it. Like the feeling I've had for my dad and my family, and just thinking about if I never saw them again. Like maybe my dad dies while I'm in jail, or maybe my grandparents pass away while I'm in jail, or my nieces and nephew are gonna grow up without me. That shit was fucking me up, man. And maybe that's why it was traumatizing, because I never had that feeling and realization before like I did then. And I'm working through it now. But man, family is all that matters. It's the most important thing on this fucking planet, is the connections you build. It does not matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter what kind of car you drive. It doesn't matter your past. It doesn't matter what you're doing right now. It doesn't matter. It's the connections you're building, or need to build, or have built. Those are what are going to get you through the rough times. Those are what's going to get you through depression. Is the people you surround yourself with. It's not going to be these fucking junkies that, oh, he's depressed and feels like me. Well, I'll just give him some pills. That's how junkies think. They don't know how to help. You got to figure out and find people who do know how to help. Because at the end of the day, that's the only way out. It's the only way out of your brain is the people around you. And luckily, it took a long fucking time. And a lot of fucking people fucked me over, walked all over me, treated me like I was nothing. But it took a long time to get to a point where I'm finally happy with who's around me. No, I don't have a girl. I wish I did. It'd be so cool to have a fucking woman I could get along with and talk to and share ideas with and have her share her experiences and ideas and all her wants, needs, goals with me. That would be so cool. But I don't have one. But obviously I want one. One part of me wants one. But the other part is just content now. Because I have my dad. He's one of the best dads I could ever ask for. I've got Chance. He's one of the best friends I could ever ask for. I got my sister Tony. I got my brother-in-law Thomas. I got their kids, man. My family is my rock, man. They're the most important thing. And they're better than anything I could ever ask for. Yeah, we're all misfits. Yeah, we all got problems. We're all a little fucked up in the head. But my family, man, I wouldn't trade them for the world. None of them. Not even my mom, nobody. I love them too, man. They've got problems. I've got problems. We all got problems. But clearly, man, we could work through it. Look, I just got a job interview. I've been just trying to fucking live in the fire. Yeah, I had a few fucking moments where I thought I was going to lose it. And thought I wasn't going to make it out the trap of my own mind. But then I just kept moving. Kept going to the gym. Kept working. Kept doing what I know I needed to do. Because the other day I was so depressed after getting pulled over again and just my job. I didn't like Smithfield, man. So I was dreading the day after on a Wednesday. When I got pulled over the day after I got pulled over. The day after I got pulled over, I should say. I was dreading the day, man. I could feel the demon. The demon's trying to keep me in bed. The demon's trying to bring me back to hell. But I decided after snoozing my alarm 2 or 3 times, I'm going to get the fuck up and I'm going to do this. And it was a shit day, man. It was hard as fuck. I got into it with my supervisor a couple times over stupid bullshit. So a lot of shit was going on. But I'm going to put this out. We'll go back inside, finish this podcast. Yeah, man. It's really about those connections. Like, and not just those human connections either. Dog connections too. Puppies need love too, man. All of them need love. They all need love. We all need a little love in our lives, right? Without that love, without those bonds, without those connections, what the fuck are we? We're just a human shell floating around, trying to be happy, trying to figure out what our life is supposed to be. And without those people, those rational, logical, loving people, you really have no self. Because we build our identity off of other people as well. We think we're separate. I say this all the time. It's an illusion, man. Everybody is needed to make you and me and everybody. Everything in our head is just an accumulation of books, podcasts, shit we've read somewhere, shit people told us or we've heard. There's no us without other people. And our mind starts to become warped when we're not around other people and not talking to other people. That's why solitary confinement is the worst thing you can do to a prisoner. Putting them by their cell. Because then all you have is your brain. if you don't have your another person to bounce your ideas off of and figure out what reality is, you won't know what reality is. And then your brain's going to start trying to convince you of bullshit like it does all the time, except now you don't have other people to weed out the bullshit. You have to just figure it out. And that's where it gets tough. But what I was going to say is they put me in the cell with a fucking dude that was caught on a Menards bench sniffing inhalants, like CO2 whippets, man. He was fucking doing that shit. And then the other guy was a domestic abuser with 20 years over his head of probation. 20 years of jail time on probation. Or parole, one of the two. And I'm just sitting there thinking, marijuana is legal in some states. It's been talked about many times being legalized federally. Obviously it's not. I fucked up. I didn't follow the law. It's not any of their faults. Like, you can't be mad at the judge. You can't be mad at the officers. You can't be mad at anybody but yourself. And I'm not mad at myself because I'm working on it. I'm trying to be better. If I was just being a lazy piece of shit, not trying to be better than I was, then I wouldn't fucking be happy with myself. And the system is set up the way it is. That's the unfortunate part. Some things are illegal that shouldn't be. Some things should be illegal and are not. Like, humans aren't perfect, and humans made this system. So it's not going to be perfect. But I'm sitting there thinking, I was put in with a dude that's fucking sniffing CO2 and a dude that beats his fucking wife and probably his kids. And that's what they think I am. They think I'm the same. They think I'm just a criminal like these other two people. And that's what really changed my mind, was they don't give a fuck who you are. I mean, the people may, the officers, the judges, all these people might give a fuck. But the system itself, it's set up the way it is and there's no fucking with it. Not from within it, at least. And it takes a long time to change the shit that's already solidified. Let me take a deep breath. I guess my main point of this podcast, man, is just love what you got right now. Family, friends, your position in life. Even if it's fucking hard as shit, man. Like I thought a week ago, like I said, I was going to be saving money, all this shit. But then I lost my job, got arrested, all this shit's going on now. Life's going to throw fucking things at you that you did not expect. And it can either bring you back to hell or you can adapt and figure out how to overcome the situation and become a better person. And that's all life is, man. That's where I think I'll end this motherfucker. I seriously love you guys. Like, you have no idea. I don't even know some people. I don't even fucking need to know some people. Some people I know, I don't even know. I don't know who listens to this. I ain't gonna lie. But I love you. Whoever you are, I fucking love you, man. Not on some gay shit, not on some trying to fuck you shit. None of that nonsense. I just love everybody. I love human beings, man. I was thinking that at work yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah. I love humans, man. There's such a wide variety of ways we can be and ways that make us happy and just ways to live life. And it's an amazing thing to see. Our species is amazing. All species are amazing. And we need to respect each other, respect the planet, respect nature. Just try to be the best we can be. And that's where I'll end this thing. I love you guys.